Well, Tubi was not kind to me today. Well, Tubi I knew was going to be the biggest grab bag out of all of them. Netflix is now skewing towards things I like. Shudder, in general, is more, I think, better filled with better movies in terms of quality on average. There are some that are hit and miss, but usually it's got some more well-known or at least better curated properties. Tubi will just throw anything at you. Okay, so what it threw at me today was the 2019 film Candy Corn. I'd never heard of this thing. Okay, so but I tried to keep a positive attitude, but the first image that popped up didn't really grab me, but I just pressed play without even reading what the thing was about. And it's generic as generic can be, which is a shame. Apparently, they actually pulled in some bigger names to try to add to it. Tony Todd actually executive produced this thing, and he has a small role in it. Courtney Gaines, who I sang the praises of back in my Children of the Corn review, is in it. PJ Souls is in it. So you've got some names that come up. If PJ Souls doesn't mean anything to you, Halloween, Carrie, Devil's Rejects. She's known in the business. So, okay, so right when this movie started, I got that feeling that it dropped immediately down into the 2 category. When I'm watching a movie for the first time, if I've seen the movie before, I generally already have an idea on probably where it's going to fall on my MacGuffin scale. But then I'll let the movie play out and see if I feel any differently later. Movies I haven't seen, I started about a 3, right in the middle, giving them the benefit of the doubt. This movie, before the title came up, I was already knocking it down into the 2 category. But once I saw Tony Todd's name pop up, I did hold out a little bit of hope. He does a good job in the movie. Courtney Gaines does a good job-ish. It's not terrible, but he's got some weird line reads. Everyone else, oh boy. Okay, so, well, I guess the actor who played the leader of the freak show, Pancho Moller, he did okay. He was carrying more of this movie than he should have. Anyway, so this movie is essentially dollar store Pumpkinhead. That's pretty much what it is. Anyway, mixed if you splice that with Freaks, the movie. So, our opening scene, this is where I was already starting to lose me, is a bunch of kids sitting around a table discussing what they're going to do for Halloween, and it's their tradition to bully the mentally challenged kid in town. Now, I say that, but none of them look like kids. Most of them look like they're in their 30s. And the mentally challenged kid looks mid-20s, the youngest. So, but they do seem to be living with their parents, so I don't know. They're not going to school or anything, really, so... Well, the whole movie takes place over, like, a weekend, so... I don't know. Point is, they look way too old to be in these roles. Just kind of giving a glance. Sheesh. One of the lead actresses doesn't even have a fully fledged bio here, so I can't even tell. Okay. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. And so, yeah, the characters you're going to be following are talking about humiliating a mentally challenged kid. That's a great start. But it was the way they were going about it in the acting that kind of was the turnoff. There's one girl there who's kind of saying, "Really, guys?" But she still is going along with it, no matter how much she talks about being against it. She was the most sympathetic character in the movie, and I did like her. Everyone else, no. No one's in the right in this movie. Anyway, they go to harass the kid, who's now working part-time at the Halloween Dr. Voodoo's Horror Emporium Spooktacular Freak Show. And, well, they corner him down there and begin pushing him around. Our reluctant girls were just watching from the sidelines. They got someone extra to come along who is way too old to be hanging out with them. But this guy fights back a little bit, so they beat the crap out of him and kill him and run off. Title comes up. Well, I guess the title came up before they went and roughed him up, but they're just talking about doing it. So yeah, okay, here we are. So that's a Halloween tradition, and these are our protagonists. This is the problem. So then the freak show is run by I guess, an actual voodoo priest. Well, actual. It's probably not tied into the actual practices of hoodoo, voodoo, or any other spiritualism, but anyway, he works his black magic to resurrect with this haunted Halloween mask, I guess. It's part of the ritual. I don't know. Puts it on the guy and raises him from the dead so he can go seek bloody vengeance. And the movie's called Candy Corn because I guess that he was carrying on a bucket of candy corn and now he's jamming it down the throats of his victims. Anyway, so it ensues as him picking these people off one by one who very much deserve it. But at the same time, the carnival folk are also, like, this is clearly not the first time they've done something like this. Yes, they're just protecting their own, but at the same time, they're now carving a bloody swath through the town. There are some interesting ideas here that, if fully fleshed out, could have been an interesting social commentary, but it's just bland and generic. The kills are not very inventive. The gore is okay when they're using practical effects, but too often they're just drenching it in CG blood. At first, I was worried Tony Todd was going to get only one line in this movie. The first time he shows up, he says one thing, and then the scene ends, but he's in all, like, 3 scenes. And the one character that actually seemed like she was trying to help gets still caught up in this and is killed brutally. So it's like the one likable character you kill off also, which made it almost seem like the worst of the bullies was the one who is still alive, closest to the credits. So like, they're not going to try to turn this guy around, are they? They're not trying to portray him as sympathetic. Thankfully, no. He does get his comeuppance, but oh boy, this was a long sit, and it wasn't a long movie. Tony Todd could not save this one. He did keep it from going down to a 1. It does take something truly bad to get down there, and this one teetered a few times, but is definitely in the low 2 MacGuffin range. Candy Corn, there's nothing really worthwhile here. Then the resurrected masked killer looks cool. I will give him that. And the kills can almost have some thought put into them, but they're just shot poorly or nothing done with them. So most of them just come off as kind of bland. I mean, yeah, grab them, go by her tongue. Okay, starts interesting, but then it's tears it off and just becomes a regular stabbing. One guy had his spine ripped out, which, okay, cool, but you don't really, just the way it's filmed, you can barely tell what's going on half the time for those ones. So, this is a forgettable one, which is a shame. There's a lot of good talent here. It's just a lot of the acting just seems weird, particularly with the four friends. It sounds almost like they're reading off a script sometimes, just for some of the line deliveries. And the one girl who was kind of likable is like, you still want to shake her for her decisions. Like, okay, she's watched her boyfriend kill a guy, so she doesn't want to see him again. Okay. And she goes to the police. Okay. Then she hears that person might have survived, so she just gets back with her boyfriend. Like, that doesn't make what he did okay. Why are you forgiving him? I mean, he thought he did kill him, so it's like he would have gone that far. No, no. So far, this one's on the bottom for my month. This one did displace the Ed Gein movie as the bottom of my barrel, so avoid candy corn. I don't even know many people who actually like the candy corn, so kind of same here with the movie. No, just give it a pass. Hopefully I'll get something a little bit better to snack on tomorrow. Okay, have a good night. Two McGuffins. Low two.